Who's talking first? Are you talking first? Am I talking first?
I mean, hello everyone. Welcome to Reshoot, an amateur's guide to good or film. I'm your host. I don't want to do it first, and I can't make a joke. You go first.
I did make a joke and you didn't notice it. I made a reference.
Right now?
Yeah, right as the recording started.
All right, who talks first?
Yeah.
Oh God. All right.
I thought it would be funny. I'm Ruthie.
I'm Dense. I mean Hector. The reference is to Star Wars. You know when Poe gets kidnapped. You know,
Episode 7, the very
eight.
Or at 8. No, it's
Last Jedi. Last Jedi was like.
No,
it's 7. Right, it's 7. You're right. It's 7.
I attribute a Star Wars fan.
Yeah, Yeah.
Sequels don't count.
Yes, they do.
No, fuck that. 7 and 8 count. 9 is.
Oh, true.
The worst movie I've ever seen in my entire life. I'm Ed, by the way.
Let's just start it off. I want to get this out of the way. Who did you think was going to win going into this? Before not knowing anything, who did you think was going to win?
My money on Monkey.
Who I thought was going to win? Kong. Who I wanted to win? Zilla.
You look like you got what you wanted. I wanted Kong.
Everybody wanted Monkey.
Really? Almost everyone I asked was all for Godzilla.
Everyone I asked was for Kong.
Huh.
Although I will say...
Even 50-50, honestly.
I will say, though, when I watched the movie, it felt like Kong was always the one who was, like, hamstrung in some way in each of the fights. Because he was,
Not in round 2.
Round 2 is the one when they're in Hong Kong at night, and that's when Kong wins that for round 2.
Right.
Literally, the guy says round 2 goes to Kong.
Again, it's been a week and a half. But, like, the first fight, like, it seems like a lot of the fight he's, or at least in the first fight, he's hamstrung in the fact that, he's trying to be conscious of, the people that he cares about. And then overall, I discussed this with Hector on the car ride home. Maybe you can help me remember if I forget some points. But, okay, I actually haven't seen the rest of the movies. What is the time difference from the first Kong movie to this movie?
It's been about
Kong Skull Island is like in 1960s.
Okay, it takes place in the 60s?
And this movie takes place in like what, 2024?
Something like that.
So yeah, so it's been like 70 years. Speaking of which, I don't mean, can I say something about that? According to the director, he did an AMA on Reddit. I looked through it just because it was fun. He had a different, like, way of looking at things for each monster. Mechagodzilla, I can't remember. Godzilla was just, like, pure, like, just, you know, more animalistic and more, like, sure of himself. And Kong's was too old for this shit. For any listeners, correct me if I'm wrong, but I remember reading something that supposedly Kong is older than Godzilla.
Okay. Well, yeah, that, I guess, clarifies my reason for saying he's hamstrung. Godzilla doesn't give a shit about anything except for his own ego. Kong has lived in that facility for a long time, it's implied. He hasn't had to, like, fight for supremacy like Godzilla has. Like, Godzilla's fought, like, 5 different monsters in the series. Again, I haven't seen any of the other movies. But, he's got a lot more fighting experience against big stuff. Kong does not.
He fought 2 in the first one, and then Ghidorah, and I think one other one.
So
Roshan in the second one, so 4.
Yeah.
I was close enough. We'll round.
I don't remember much of Kong Skull Island. I have seen that one. Didn't he fight like a bunch of? Didn't he fight just a bunch of little monsters? Yeah, they weren't like big skull crawlers, right?
There was one big skull crawler that he pulled its guts out through its mouth.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah. PG-13 movie, and he like his hands in the mouth, and he's just like, I'm like, oh my god.
Yeah, those movies are surprisingly hardcore.
Yeah.
Oh no, I think he killed 2 of the 2 big skull crawlers, but they were like almost as big as him.
Either way, Godzilla, despite being older, Kong didn't have as much fighting experience as Godzilla did.
Oh.
Yes, but
it's implied one of Kong's ancestors and one of Godzilla's ancestors fought a lot.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Also, the fact Kong does have a higher intelligence, though.
True.
I have to think. So, I actually, I want to touch into my part because I did do some research on this to see if I could have fixed the fight.
Mm-hmm.
Like, okay, I'm gonna say it right now. I thought the fight was perfectly like perfectly well matched. It was a good representation on both parts. I'm not mad. I just want to see if there's something that maybe that was missed. I looked up stats for Kong. I looked stats for Godzilla.
Research for the episode.
I know. I also looked up like actual like animals, like an actual gorilla and an actual like for example alligators. That's the closest, strongest reptile that exists.
Yeah.
So fun fact: gorillas can lift 4,000. Supposedly, like theoretically, they can lift up to like 4,000 pounds if it was like a bench press kind of position, because they're like 400 pounds. So they're like 10 times their body weight. They can potentially lift. Alligators weigh around 500 pounds, and like when they're snapping, they can put about 5,000 pounds of pressure. So if we were to translate that into strength, just flat out Godzilla strength, Godzilla wins arguably just because it can go a little harder.
But that's just by mouth.
It's but again, if I was to translate it to like the rest of the strength of the reptiles, they're both around 10 times, but it seems like it has a higher average for reptiles. Again, the math's not.
Yeah, well, there's a lot of approximations because this is like cryptozoology that we're trying to do over here.
Yeah, and so theoretically, Godzilla comes out on top. The only thing Kong really had was his intellect, which he used very well. I can't deny that. Huh?
He had tools.
Yeah, well, he also did that one scene in round 3 where he threw a bit of a building at another building, and when Godzilla turned to look, he jumped on him and tried to pin him.
Yeah.
Yep.
Anyone want to do a synopsis?
I think Hector was complaining on doing one.
Okay, so synopsis. There's a company called Apex. They want to make a better Godzilla so that they don't have to rely on Godzilla. Godzilla gets wind of that and attacks Apex, the company. They use that as a PR spin to get approval to define Hollow Earth technology. Or not, sorry, let me go back. To find an energy source in Hollow Earth that can fully power up Mechagodzilla. So they use Kong to find Hollow Earth and to find the source of all this radiation energy. And then because they find it, that leads to Kong and Godzilla fighting, even though they already fought earlier on the way there. Godzilla won. Godzilla blows a freaking hole through the earth to get to Kong with the coolest stare down ever. Then they both fight. And then it ends up at the very end of that the big fights. Godzilla wins, and Kong almost dies. They res Kong. The humans sort of res Kong, while Godzilla's getting murdered by Mechagodzilla. Then the two of them pull a non-Martha moment and just team up, and just freaking wail on Mechagodzilla, and they just both go off in peace with, or not peace, but with an understanding of like they're both alphas. They don't have to actually fight. And then Kong stays on Hollow Earth. Okay, that's my interpretation. Kong stays on Hollow Earth, and Godzilla just roams the regular seas.
Surface, yeah. Kong pretty. I think Kong. What I got from the very end where Kong drops the axe is him conceding.
But that doesn't make sense with his characterization.
Yeah.
Kong won't bow to anyone.
I know,
I thought it was just a truce.
He's not bowing to anyone. He's just conceding to Godzilla, saying you're stronger. That's it. Yeah. Like it's. Like,
I thought that's what happened.
He doesn't want
to
fight anymore. That's what Kong said. He doesn't want to fight anymore. He's conceding, but because he'll die if he fights Godzilla again. And I think that's why he goes to Hollow Earth, be separate, so he doesn't have to be subservient to Godzilla. He's in his own place now.
Yeah. I kind of saw more of a truce. Because, he already conceded earlier with the fight. So it's just kind of whatever. It doesn't matter anymore. I thought that
then why did he drop the axe?
Because it's I don't want to fight you. We're both tired.
I'm going to get a nap first.
I don't know. I took it as Kong conceding.
I don't know. I don't think see it like that. I'm sure the director said...
It doesn't seem like his character.
I don't think... Because he listened to the girl... He listened to his little... Gia.
The one character name I remember.
Yeah, he listened to Gia and just didn't attack.
Beep, 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 beep. I'll start if nobody wants to start.
Okay.
Okay, what I liked about the movie, there wasn't just one big fight between Kong and Godzilla. There were 3 rounds. I like that. The fights were also pretty good, in my opinion, for the most part. Again, this is like the freaking common criticism for all these Godzilla movies is the human storylines are always just straight up bad, terrible garbage. I hate it. Like they're all so terrible. They're all bad, all of them. Even like, because you got the dude with Godzilla and lady and what's her face, deaf little girl. I mean,
Gia.
with Kong, they're with Kong.
Yeah, so there's the I call
There's
him the
that.
crypto geologist because he's like the Hollow Earth guy. That's what you're talking about, right?
Yeah, yeah, the Hollow Earth guy with Gia and her
Doctor
mom,
Lady.
Dr. Lady. And like they're mostly with Kong and whatever. And then you got a freaking 11. You looked at her name. Martha?
Madison.
Megan? Madison. I knew it was an M name. You got Madison and Firestorm from Deadpool 2.
Deadpool 2, yeah, yeah.
And then
Russell, wasn't it?
Russell something. And the
Yep.
the the conspiracy theorist dude. Oh
Bernie.
my Bernie. Oh my god. Why were they even in the movie? There was literally the only point they're in the movie. The only reason they're in the movie is to reveal Mechagodzilla before Mechagodzilla comes out of the mountain.
Yeah.
That's it. But even then, like you have a point of view of the Apex CEO and that Japanese dude. You can just show them working on it.
Yeah, but that kind of was the surprise of Mechagodzilla.
No, not in my opinion. You can still have a surprise of Mechagodzilla
How would you do it?
without literally the same thing, except the 3 aren't there. They're just talking about
So just have it like randomly show up near the end?
no. Like you know how when they're there in the facility, and they Mechagodzilla shows up, and it was like, oh my god, Mechagodzilla, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, just the same thing. Remove them from the equation. You got it.
Yeah, you could just show them building on something once in a while
Yeah,
in the
or yeah,
background.
building something, and then like when they test run it, just have the guy saying, all right, power it up, and open up the gate for the creature, and you have the same exact fight except people aren't there, and it's perfect for like the first big reveal, and then everything
All
else
right.
plays out exactly the same because they're not uh critical to the plot at all. Nothing, zero, nada. That's it. Remove them from the movie. Fix that scene. You got a 20-minute shorter movie, or less, or maybe even not even that much time removed. But still, it's ridiculous. That storyline is completely pointless in my opinion.
All
What else
right.
did I like about this movie? Not a lot. Oh,
Really?
like what the hell was up with the containment thing for Kong? Like, why did they even need to build that place? Why not just keep him on Skull Island?
Because that was
Plot
Skull
reason.
Island. That was
Yeah,
Skull
I
Island. It
know,
was
but why not just like be at Skull Island?
because it's a storm.
Oh, wait, no, that is explained. It's explained because they're both like alpha titans or whatever. Godzilla
Right.
is going to beat the doctor lady wanted to make sure that Kong wouldn't encounter Godzilla.
So he kept him in there so it wouldn't
It
like.
was supposed to be a
She
containment
literally
unit.
said they literally said Skull Island was the only thing keeping Godzilla from fighting Kong because he was only in Skull Island. That was explicitly said. So why did they build a facility around Kong?
Probably to keep him distracted and not want to go out because the rest of the place is a mess.
Right, it did get trashed by the storm too. We don't know
Yeah.
how we know Kong survived the storm. We don't know how he fared during this storm.
I mean, it killed the entire native population there, except
Except
for
Gia,
Gia.
who
So,
Kong saved.
yeah, so I don't think it was. Yeah. I'm fine with the containment thing, honestly.
I don't know.
Whatever. But I get
I
it.
mean,
I get it.
it just doesn't it didn't make a whole lot of sense to me. Maybe because I don't remember the storm killing the native population if they ever talked about it.
They talked about it in the beginning.
Okay, well, I don't know how I feel about Gia and Kong's like relationship at all. I don't really like it too much, in my opinion. There's always that little girl that can speak to the monsters, but nobody else can. It's kind of cliche, in my opinion.
I know it's cliche, but I'm kind of a sucker for that trope. If it's done well, I really do like the trope.
Yeah, this wasn't. It was okay. It was better than
Yeah.
most.
Hmm.
Better than most. What else? Godzilla's always cool for me, at least.
I felt like he had a shit-eating grin for a lot of the movie.
Yeah.
There was that one scene where he hits him with the laser, with the atomic breath, and he like has that little chuckle. I'm like, oh, that's great.
Yep.
I love the chuckle.
I like how
I just
Godzilla just had to clip him once with the atomic breath, and that's how
Mhm.
he wins. Just one clip, and then he can just go ham. Anyways, uh, that evil lady that works for Apex that was with the people with Kong.
she felt so unnecessary. Like
Yep,
she was
completely useless
such a
character.
bitch for no reason.
Yeah, and then they get to Hollow Earth. They're like, "This is the power source," and Kong's like, "Eh, smash." Um, like she was what
Because
what?
she threatened, because she for some stupid reason threatened the people who Kong loves, since the
Yeah, she threatened Gia.
she threatened Gia. Of
Yeah,
course, what were you expecting?
I
Like,
know. Oh, I'm just saying, like, it was there to create conflict where there didn't need to be conflict,
Oh,
and
and
it's unnecessary.
to be a comedic relief when she starts like freaking out over stuff too. Because when they're on the ship and Kong's on the boat and she's like, ah! 'Cause that was the thing. I
I think
remember.
the crypto geologist was more than
yeah,
enough
Yeah,
comedic
no,
relief.
I'm totally agreeing with you, but that was a role that I saw her pegged
Yeah,
into once or twice, and it
yeah.
wasn't.
That's the thing I've noticed. I think with more like modern movies is or blockbuster movies. There's like twice as many comedic relief characters as actual characters for the plot.
I have a theory, and I just came up with it.
Short attention span, probably.
I think it's because of Marvel, specifically Avengers. With
yeah.
the Whedonisms, they're trying to emulate the formula without using the formula.
Yep. Because Marvel does it well, like really
Well, they've
well.
perfected their formula.
Yeah. Because like you have the characters, but they're all kind of funny in their own kind of way. You don't need to insert a character to as comedic relief, and that's what this is seeming like. Because like the ratio is literally like 2 to 1. You got 11, Madison, and then Bernie and what's his face. Madison's the serious character, and you got two comedic reliefs.
Well, if anything, Bernie's like it's almost like a sliding scale where Madison's full serious, and the kid who comes with them, Russell, I think
I
we
think
call him
it's
Russell.
Russell.
I'm gonna call him Russell. He's like full funny, but Bernie's like right smack in the middle, where he's like half serious, half funny.
I didn't find Bernie serious at all.
He had some moments where
He
like he
had a
talked
lot
about his
of plot
wife,
stuff, which is why I categorize him as half
and he
serious.
was like serious about his wife and stuff, and
Yeah.
like there's a few other
He has a
things, but
wife?
yeah, he had
His
dead
wife
wife.
died. He's got the whiskey
Oh,
and the
that's
gun
right.
thingy.
Yeah, right.
Anything else you'd fix?
Remove them. Take out all this shit, and you got a better movie. Honestly, because what the movie like, you didn't need this movie to be what 2 hours long is what it is.
Yeah, it's like just
About
barely
just
two
under.
around. Yeah,
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 just
you didn't.
around.
You this movie was fine at an hour and 30. Honestly, there's just by removing all that stuff, all the useless stuff. You got the first fight in the battleships, good, fine, and then you got the Hollow Earth thing. You got like, cause she wasn't even like the bitch lady. She wasn't even like she didn't even cause the conflict because Godzilla just bored a hole into Hollow Earth himself. Those four characters did literally nothing for the plot at all. They added nothing. You got Godzilla versus Kong with a lot less shit, more fighting percentage of the movie. Like you have less time between fights. You have less time between fight one and fight two, which I felt that span right there was really long and really fucking boring. That's what I would fix, honestly. Everything else was good. Fights were good. Mecha Godzilla was good. I the non Martha moment, like you said, very good. They did it how it's supposed to be. Really quick though, the axe. It is one of the biggest plot armor things I've ever seen.
I
It's
I
just
saw it
like
more as like a Chekhov's gun.
Chekhov's gun. When was the axe mentioned other than in like the freaking like intro montage?
Okay,
where it shows Kong
Not that it was
and then
mentioned at the begin. Not that it was mentioned in Act 1, but when it was brought up in Part 2, it was like, okay, this is definitely going to come in later. And the fact that it was like Godzilla's nuclear breath that powered it, that's what I was referring to.
Mm.
I guess it's not technically a Chekhov's gun anymore.
Yes, the axe. I don't know. Kind of. It wasn't. It wasn't as much as a Deus Ex Machina or Deus Ex or whatever. No, it's not as much as a Deus Ex, however you say that. But it just kind of like that. The axe is the only reason Kong stood a chance against Godzilla.
That's fine. You need a weapon to hit through the hide. That's fair.
Yeah.
Monkey.
Just because someone needs an assist doesn't mean it's like.
Yeah, no, yeah, but and it makes sense, monkey.
Thumbs.
Thumbs.
Let him have the advantages that thumbs give him.
Yeah, and then Godzilla. Oh, and yeah, it was a team effort to take care of Mechagodzilla. But yeah, like Godzilla won, and I'm like, yay! And then after that, I'm actually like, I don't know. Like, I think if either one, I wouldn't have, because I'm not too happy about Godzilla winning anymore. So, but even if Kong won, I still wouldn't be happy. There's just no happy ending for this movie for me, honestly. With the fight, at least.
What if Mechagodzilla won?
Oh, that'd been crazy. That would have been crazy, honestly.
Wait. Why were you not happy with whoever would win?
Because like Godzilla won, and then I thought Monkey was gonna win, but Godzilla won. I'm like, cool, yeah, that's who should win, right? But after the fact, I'm like, I don't know, like, I like them both. Is the thing. I wanted them both to win.
That's fair. I get that. All right.
But the thing about that is that there can't be a Martha moment because that's terrible, and that's the only way they both win if there's a Martha moment. So with what they had, like, well, the movie did that well. It's just that I'm not happy with either winning, which sucks for me, I guess.
That's a you problem, Ed.
Yeah, that's a me problem. 100% a me problem. Yes.
So what I liked about the movie. I like that the movie knew what it was and it knew what to do and kind of what not to do. It was, like Ed said, it was 3 rounds of a fight between 2 characters instead of just like a brawl the entire movie.
Or one long build-up.
Yeah. It found a way to balance that out. It learned from the mistakes of the Godzilla movies, where it's like there's too many human moments. It kind of trimmed down the fat in that aspect, at least as far as I know. Again, I haven't seen any of the other movies. Like I said, it knew what it wanted to be. It did it really well. Next, the child actress, Gia's actress, her sign language, beautiful. It was really nice. The only thing I'd say is, when I was learning ASL, I was told to mouth the words. But the actress who plays Gia, she actually comes from a family where her father's side is all deaf. So she's very well versed in it, and you can kind of see in the way that she signs. It's not quite like perfect sign language, but it's not sloppy. It's clear. I can read it for the most part, but I've forgotten quite a bit of sign language. I also thought that this was just about the most ambitious movie crossover of all film history, because it's got Godzilla, it's got King Kong, it's got Planet of the Apes, it's got Stranger Things, Pacific Rim, and the Meg, all blended together in one cinematic universe.
Don't forget Deadpool 2.
I don't.
Russell's from Deadpool 2.
Okay, I haven't seen
Also,
that.
Hunt for the Wilder People, which I haven't seen yet. I haven't seen it yet.
Well, I was mostly going for like plot shit.
Fair enough.
Less of like character. I know you're thinking character shit because I mentioned Stranger Things, but that was literally because they did the subterranean elevator thing, and that was a thing in the show.
Oh, I only watched season 1, so season
okay.
1 and 2.
I won't mention where it happens then. What I didn't like about the movie. I said I liked Gia's sign language. The doctor lady, the lady who was in charge of Kong, I did not like her sign language. She would occasionally mouth the words, but she's the guardian of Gia, and she almost never translates what's going on to this deaf child. Like, I think the only time I remember her translating was to the cryptogeologist Hollow Earth professor dude for that comedic moment where G is calling him the coward. Her signs are just a little bit sloppier, but she mouths the word so it's still clearer. But she's still on par parenting wise with the mom from the Meg. Here, small deaf child, let's go out into the woods with let me take you into this containment facility for a big giant ape who could squish you like a grape. It's fine, no adult supervision necessary.
We're talking about her with...
At the very beginning of the movie.
I can forgive that one. Just like, do you have a good bond?
I get that, but no supervision.
There's cameras.
Not enough. Not if she didn't know that Kong could sign.
Fair enough.
And then she's like, come, small child, I shall take you to Hollow Earth where this man's brother got squished into oblivion in a second. It was just constant... What?
He got turned into paste, is what I imagine.
Yeah.
His brother.
Dust. Particles.
He got Thanos.
Yeah, pretty much. Oh, and on a similar vein, she's a horrible negotiator. Like, the cryptozoologist guy just, comes up, he's like, hey, can I borrow Kong for, a weekend? No, please? Yes. What? I get I get that the plot needs it to happen, and the plot needs to have it happen quickly, but it was so unbelievable. It kind of threw me out of the immersion it was trying to build. She was like, okay, yeah, fine, sure, let's do it. Please don't have him get killed by Godzilla. I can't promise that. Okay. When that was her biggest motivator was to keep Kong away from Godzilla. I don't know, it was so jarring.
Agreed. I didn't think about that being so actually weird now that you mention it.
It just felt so disjointed. And speaking of disjointed, I agree with you, Ed, that the Godzilla gang, that's what I'm calling them, they felt super out of place because they had almost no ties to the final plot. And I felt like Bernie's conspiracy stuff is just a little much. Because,
with our current climate?
Well, with our current climate, but also just, within the mythos, he's introduced as a Godzilla conspiracy theorist. That is his focus. It seemed like his podcast was 400 plus episodes just on Godzilla stuff and Apex stuff in particular. And then we get to know him, and he believes in any conspiracy any conspiracy you can think of, he believes it full hog 100%. And I felt like it was kind of lazy. Lazy characterization. It just felt like too much to me. It seemed like it was trying to characterize him, but it felt very generic, very tropey. Wasn't a fan. I think it would have been better if it was just distilled into the distrust into Apex, Godzilla shit, and maybe the Hollow Earth stuff for reasons I'm about to get to my fixes. So this last one that I was kind of mentioning, the Godzilla gang feeling disjointed from the film, and Bernie being crazy conspiracy nut, I think I can fix it in one go. Have the you take the crypto geologist guy, whose name I cannot remember to save my life, and you have him partner with Bernie. The two of them are working together. Instead of being conspiracy theorists, they are the conspiracy. They're working to try and figure out what the hell is going on with Apex.
Oh, I see. So one of them works.
So Bernie already works at the facility, and he's gathering the research. Maybe in that Godzilla thing, he also saw that they're looking for an energy source for something, or he sees the words Hollow Earth. Maybe they were working together before, maybe they weren't. I haven't quite figured out how they would have started working.
I figured everybody's was looking into Hollow, kaiju stuff, and he believes Hollow Earth, and he believes Apex might be doing something, and they just split up. And then once they get the opportunity,
that's kind of what I was going for. It's okay. After the Godzilla incident, Bernie tips off the geologist, and he lets him know, hey, they're probably going to come to you because you're the expert on Hollow Earth. And he's like, okay, cool, we can finally figure this out. So the two of them are in cahoots in taking down Apex, and I don't know, I think it would make it a little bit more interesting, a little bit more spy-y with him working with Apex, especially in that little battleship thing down to Antarctica.
It's really good.
And again, it would then connect both of the groups, because I know you didn't like them, Ed. I know you felt that they were useless. I did like that they were kind of the audience.
Surrogate?
Yeah, they were the audience surrogate for Mechagodzilla, because I didn't have as much of the context. I don't know much about the Godzilla series, so it was nice to be like, okay, yeah, this is bad. This is something we should be freaking out about. It's not just me. It was nice to have that validation from the movie. I would also just readjust a little bit with that Bernie and Madison thing. To me, it would make sense where Madison, she's like obsessed with Godzilla. I don't think she's as much of a conspiracy nut as the movie. I don't think it's weird to me. I haven't seen the other Godzilla movies. I don't know if she's as much of like a conspiracy person in those movies.
He turned into a conspiracy person in this
I
one.
didn't. Yeah, it felt. I haven't seen the movies. It felt weird.
It was in the movie she was in, the King of Monsters. He was just like Godzilla. That's all.
Yeah. So.
Godzilla's side.
To me, it would make more sense if Bernie was the one to reach out to her and try and find information that way. Like maybe she's like vaguely interested. Maybe she wants to reach out, but he finds her first.
Oh, that's much better than what I was gonna do. That's really good.
Yeah.
That simplifies it so much.
I would have the doctor just be a better adoptive parent, 'cause she might as well be Gia's mom at this point. I think it is like, is it official that she adopted Gia?
I don't think it's official, but it's kind of implied.
Yeah. But just like, I don't know, have her be more worried about Gia's safety, have her translate and explain some of the stuff that's going on. I would also get rid of the bitchy lady, because she doesn't pass the lamp test, like the lampshade test that I was telling you about. If you replaced her with a lamp,
yeah.
Nothing changes. Like, I feel like you could even merge her with the general dude. The general dude! Right! That was weird to me. Can someone explain?
Yeah?
While they were going down to Antarctica, I almost said Alaska, but no, Antarctica, they had, like, the US Navy for some reason, and the one dude was, like, the general.
It was probably a US funded expedition.
Why didn't they say it? I would have been fine if they just said it, but it sounded like this was like a private Apex funded thing only.
I like how we always talk about like show don't tell, but then once in a while it's like...
I'm dumb. I need help sometimes, okay?
I mean, to be fair, if there's that general dude, that just showing him tells you, oh, the US is involved now.
Yeah, I just like, it threw me for a loop because honestly, you could merge him and the bitchy lady, and nothing would change.
But then that makes the U.S. troops look bad, and I'm pretty sure they actually paid for part of this movie.
Well, just don't make him explicitly a U.S. troop. Make him like paramilitary.
But then how are you gonna get that sweet? How are you gonna get that sweet funding from the military?
Have him have a really cool Navy badge.
No, but like they actually the movie is paid for partially by like military.
I know,
so,
that's
like,
what I'm saying.
Yeah, but if you make him look bad, it's not gonna.
Wait, don't make him a bitch. I'm saying pair him. Just like combine the purpose for the lady, the bitchy lady, with military guy. Have him be a paramilitary, like a private military group. Maybe have him have some kind of history with them. He's got a cool medal.
Okay.
Make him less of a bitch. Still not great, but
okay. Yeah. I get it now.
Yeah.
Okay.
I need help sometimes, and that whole sequence, especially with the race to Antarctica, that just like.
Okay. What? It was too much thrown at once.
A little. It was.
Okay.
There was a little. Yeah, because they were focusing on the stuff I didn't have questions on, and then finally, more of an idea I was toying around with: more monkeys, more Kong-like gorillas in the. In the KV area in particular, because it seemed like that was like a throne room, and I know that's the implication, but it's like, where's all the other?
I thought they were dead. I thought Kong was
I know, but still.
You'd like to see him have another one?
I'd like to see him have a family. And then you could replace the bat creature, the
bat creatures, yeah, the big ones.
Yeah, the big ones, just have replace them with the angry apes, because because Apex started threatening the humans, and Kong likes the humans. Like, how I'm envisioning it is these apes, they're just a little bit smaller. Like, yeah, they're technically alpha titans, but like Kong's the alpha titan, you know what I mean? Like he's the big...
Can he fight like another gorilla?
What?
For like supremacy?
Well, yeah, like maybe one gorilla starts like posturing, like big puff chest, and Kong just like bitch slaps him.
Okay, that's good.
Yeah, throws him out of the chair, sits in it, leans back. Yeah, I can get used to this.
Okay, I dig that. I dig that.
Like I said, I'm toying with the idea.
No, it's a fun idea.
Ed?
Yeah, I mean, yeah, it was a thing that like Kong's the last of his kind. Sucks.
But yeah, I mean, if you are gonna have more, that would have been a good way to do it.
Yeah, is Kong like immortal? Can he like die of age?
No, he can die of age. Everything dies of age.
Yeah, because Godzilla, I know he's not the first actual Godzilla.
Yeah.
No, there's the skull. The whole big throne room thing was just a dead dead Godzilla.
Mm-hmm. Well, that would also make Kong a king without having to like officially win the fight with Godzilla. He'd be the king of the other Kong apes.
See, I thought he was just the king of the Skull Island of the Hollow Earth.
I mean, yeah, that too, but like I was thinking making just a little bit more concrete.
Yeah, no,
like
I
this is
see.
his kingdom.
Yeah.
Monkey.
Monkey.
Yeah, that's all I got.
All right, got my turn. The likes. I thought the soundtrack was kind of cool during the fight scenes. Like honestly, like the little synthy waves, just the synth wave kind of shit was cool. I was a sucker for it, and it was like just the CGI is so great. Oh my god, you guys have not talked about how cool Hollow Earth looks. That shit was cool.
Yeah.
Like, I know people like felt weird about that scene where it was like the weird stones in the middle, glowing stones in the middle between like the both parts of gravity, the one going up and the one going down. The stones
Gravity works, but okay.
It looks cool. I don't give a shit. Anyway,
cool.
It's real cool. So yeah, I thought the CGI and all that was great. I also love that they used the CGI in the daytime, like with the monsters. That's extra expensive.
Oh yeah, that's really right.
That's super expensive.
Lighting was actually really good, yeah.
Yeah, no, the lighting was great. Yeah, no, they listened. This is the last time they got the license so far, and they knew about it. The fights are great. Just want to get that out there. Holy shit. I love, if you can't tell, I really love this movie. I watched with my brother and my dad. We had like a lot of like soda and like food. It was great. The hits. One thing I always like with these giant fights is I want the hits to feel good, like the kinetic energy. My god, it was so cool. And like I honestly felt a lot of tension about if Kong was going to survive that first fight. I knew he would. It's obvious. I was just like, oh no, like it was so good. I was not expecting 3 rounds. So that first round had me tense. I'm like, oh shit, they're doing this early? Oh, it was so cool. Oh, so I know I know this again, but like the color, I love color in movies like these. And the Hong Kong color was great. Like
and the color in Hollow Earth too.
Yeah. That was kind of what I meant. But like the Hong Kong, like the neon lighting of the Hong Kong area, I'm a sucker for that shit. Oh, it's so cool. Just everything related to the kaiju and them fighting was perfect. Like I have no complaints. It's so good. I'm stupidly excited for this. Probably seeing more praise for this movie than the movies I actually really like. But like, holy shit! It was so good. I also did not hate the humans in the Kong side. I know you guys have your beef with them, and I respect that. I just thought like Kong speaking in sign language was cool, and the little kid wasn't annoying, which I think a lot more movies are doing better with now. But my god, it was annoying in the past. But like, I think people are finally learning how to do good job with like little kids. All right, that's my likes. Ed, did you want to say something now?
About the Hollow Earth, yeah, Colors was good, but like it wasn't like there's other movies where they show this like cool new world, and I'm like, okay, this is like in my mind, I'm like, this looks cool and interesting. Hollow Earth wasn't cool and interesting to me. It seemed very bland, in my opinion. It seemed very run of the mill kind of thing.
I just like the color palette. I just like the
colors.
Yeah,
it's colorful, but like honestly, Portrait of a Lady on Fire was more beautiful, even though it was green blue. With the colors, it just seemed very like, just very reused kind of environment looking thing. That's what it seemed like.
All right. My dislikes and my fixes. I didn't like the humans in the Godzilla side. I don't. I like all the actors. I like all of them in their own thing. I don't like they all did a good job with what they were given. Like I'm not shitting on them, and I'm not fully shitting on the writer. I think this was the best way he thought he could do this, and that's fine. I don't think I could do a better job without having a base in this podcast sense to jump off of.
Mhm.
The conspiracy guy does not. I didn't like the conspiracy theory guy. It doesn't, like I said earlier, it doesn't sit well with me in this current environment. So I thought just keep him as an employee from Apex who stumbled onto something weird and is investigating it. And he's good with the more mechanical stuff. He's an engineer. And Madison, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's just gonna be him and her. If you're not gonna just completely get rid of them. With Ed's version of just having a building in the background, it works. But like, if you have to keep humans on Godzilla's side just so that both sides have humans, then I think just make Madison be the kaiju expert. Maybe over the years she really liked kaiju, and she's gonna learn how to. She learns more about kaiju and anatomy, and she looks up all this stuff because she was the one who knows about like skull crawlers and stuff. So like, why doesn't she like? For example, maybe she found a different way when the skull crawlers almost eat her. She finds a way to divert them with her kaiju knowledge, just stuff like that.
Like don't move. If you don't move, they won't see you. Kind of Jurassic Park thing.
I was thinking more like, oh, they hate this specific scent. Maybe you can Chekhov's gun it where she has a scent of something earlier. Like maybe she had to buy the fish. Remember, she had to buy the fish to get.
Right.
So she has the fish on her. She forgot to get rid of it, and she's like, oh wait, they like fish, and then she throws the fish, and they get diverted for a second.
Okay. Yeah.
Something like that. I like Russell. You know, the guy from New Zealand. He's cool. He's a really good actor. I don't see a role for him. Everyone shits on him the entire time. It's kind of like weird.
Yeah.
I just keep him out of it. It's not even that funny. So I was thinking for the final fight, the mechanic engineer is probably good with computers. He tries to hack. He's just about to hack it. A stray energy beam from the fight destroys the screen, so he can't hack in anything because there's nothing to see. He doesn't know what he's going to be doing.
Mm.
So he's about to give up when he's about to drink, and then she just grabs it and spills it. I think that'd be a good way to keep it like a more buddy cop dynamic and just kind of a or two detectives thing.
Mm-hmm.
As much as I like the rule of 3 when it comes to characters, 2 is sometimes better in certain situations. I think this is one of them.
Yeah. To me, it almost felt like Russell was always holding them back. He didn't add anything until that point where he dumps the whiskey.
Yeah. So, also, I think it'd be better if when they do the thing with the satellite, it just all that does it best. It just makes the laser stop working. I don't, because in the movie when they did it, it just stunned him. That was what they needed. But that kind of killed the momentum of the fight a little bit, and they had this momentum going beautifully throughout the fight up until that moment. So I'm thinking like they're doing the beam struggle instead of one beam struggle, the second beam struggle. Godzilla's about to lose, and then it gets powered down. He starts winning. Mecha Godzilla dodges out of the way, gets like half his face just cleaned right off. Just see the innards because it's just a cool. I don't know. I decided to look cool.
That is a good aesthetic.
And then he's like running after him, and he starts uses the rocket thrusters to run up, fucking wail him hard, and then he goes and starts scratching him just like Godzilla did to Kong earlier. Just kind of a fun little like
comeuppance?
Yeah, comeuppance. So he's about to go for the kill, and then Godzilla breathes out another atomic breath, and this time he knows how to time it because AI and computer. He dodges it, and he's like ha, and we see the thing just trail, and it hits right to Kong's axe, powers it up. The same thing that happened, but just like more of a mystery thing. And then he gets one good hit, and he gets the arm, or the tail maybe. And then the fight continues on as normal, and then they just wail on him till he loses. I freaking love that like fatality style kill that Kong got off of Mechagodzilla. I don't want to change that for a thing, unless you guys can think of a better one. I think another thing is let's replace the restaurant scene entirely. Where they're all sitting at the restaurant. The three of them are sitting at the restaurant.
Of them, they were talking about fluoride and shit.
Yeah.
Ew.
You know where I can find? You know what I can do to find a better use of that time? Let's put into the Hollow Earth moment when Kong's fighting those two weird like kaiju that fly around and they wrap around him, right? Like tendrils and shit. Here's a better idea. They had all this weird gravity stuff. They never once thought to use that as a fighting. like a place to fight. So like maybe earlier in the fight when he first fights those one of them, he only fights one at that moment, right? He fights it, he wins, he smashes it, not fully dead, but he doesn't care. He wants to keep going to his ancestral home. He starts to float up in the air. Now there's another one flying in the air. That's that thing's home turf. Kong's the king. He's just gonna beat the shit out of it. It's gonna be a tough fight. And then maybe the injured one starts flying up, and that's when he grabs it while spinning in like the air, and like just gravity's going wild, and then he just tosses it, knocks them both down, and they both just fall down and die.
That would be pretty rad.
Maybe like since they're not technically humans, and you can definitely go more gory as they showed how he ripped the head off and drank it. Maybe he just tosses it, and he just hits it so hard, and with the gravity, it just smushes together, and it's just like this weird thing of gore. And then, I don't know, I just thought that would have been cool. Because I thought it was like such a cool thing, and I'm like, that would be fun to fight in. That'd be fun to have a fight in. Yeah, I really love this movie. That's all I have to say. Any thoughts?
I think that'd be really fun, although I'm kind of disappointed in the idea that would probably get rid of the monkey Go-Gurt scene, where he drinks the goo.
I was thinking about that. Maybe when he grabs him, he throws them, but he like chucks them, but he kind of like doesn't fully let go of the head.
Oh, and then he rips it off,
and then just drinks it while in midair. While he's going upside down to get adjust to that gravity, he'll be drinking the Go-Gurt at the same time and just landing. I don't know.
Joe Cool.
Just rule the cool that shit. I don't know. Ed, do you have any thoughts?
Not really. No. What you decided to change is pretty good, in my opinion. More fights.
Yeah, more fights. Change the momentum of the fights.
Yeah. Yeah, it also, to show how useless that diner scene was, there was a scene?
Yeah, there's the bit where they, like, just after they meet Bernie, the three of them go to, like, some kind of diner, and Madison and Bernie start talking conspiracy theory, and it's just, like, that's the part that kind of made me dislike Bernie's characterization, because he goes through, like, the fluoride thing, the 5G thing, he goes through, like, a couple, he just rattles them off, and before this, he was almost exclusively Apex bad.
I don't remember that scene at all.
I knew something was up when they mentioned the whole bathing in bleach shit.
Yes.
That's I'm like, oh no. I thought it was just like the conspiracy against Apex and Kaiju. I'm like, that's fine.
I know, that would have been interesting.
That's all you need. You don't have to keep overdoing it.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, that's how I'd fix the movie.
I bet Bernie's an anti-vaxxer.
I know, that's kind of the reason that Hector and I didn't like his characterization.
Mine was more the political, but yeah, that too.
Yeah, like the implications of like conspiracy theories that we have in the real world.
Yeah.
Anti-mask,
anti-vax, QAnon. I was just about to mention QAnon.
Yeah.
I think he was supposed to be rattling off, making fun of QAnon, but the point is that he was right. So that, like, what does that prove?
Exactly.
Like, I'm sure that wasn't their intention when they made that character.
But it might be like a little thing of like vindication for people that do believe in those kind of conspiracy theories.
Yeah.
It felt a little irresponsible to me, at least. I don't know.
Yeah.
I want to leave this on the momentum. I want to end this on the momentum of Big Monkey Smash.
Okay, I have a bit more of a philosophical question we can end it on then. Mechagodzilla. Was it robot? Or like AI?
Was it King Ghidorah taking back control?
Well, that was what I was just about to ask.
Yeah, sure.
So was it the AI taking over, like just numbers and zeros all coming in together in this algorithm of fight? Was it King Ghidorah? Was it a combination? Was it like a malfunction? What do you think was powering Mechagodzilla? Mechagodzilla.
I think it's implicated a lot that it's Ghidorah.
I was thinking this, and I saw it, I think it was on our Reddit forum. I didn't know we were going to be doing this movie, so I looked at Reddit thoughts, and I think the director might have said something, but I don't remember what the director said. But someone on Reddit, and I was already going to this point, but it was its own, because I wondered that too. I think it became its own thing.
With the energy?
With the energy, it was like bits of... Yes, and maybe it was just being influenced by King Ghidorah's psionic link. But I think it was its own being.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Because I don't think King Ghidorah would have known how to use all that stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So like the missiles and like the rocket punches and shit.
So
I do
it
think
just kind of created its own kaiju kind of in a
yeah,
mecha
yeah.
body.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I like that one better.
Yeah, to me, like before you had mentioned that, it seemed I kind of agreed with Ed, where it seemed like it was almost like that bit in Annihilation with Shepard's screams being the bear, like the dying moments of Ghidorah monster.
Yeah.
Name of monster, please.
Ghidorah.
Ghidorah. It was those last moments of Ghidorah kind of just manifested into ones and zeros. But yeah, having it being its own thing, that
It's
works too.
cooler.
Mm-hmm.
It's better, in my opinion, at least.
Yeah. So, what do you guys want to rate this movie?
C+.
I think I'm gonna say B. It's not that it was bad. It was what it needed to be. Just like it's not my thing.
You know, I try to say like I'm not an immature like person here, and like I'm actually can't say smart shit. But at the same time, like monkey brain, like a B plus A minus. Like they have its
Reject
flaws.
humanity.
Return
Return to
to
monkey.
monkey. But
Yeah.
yeah, like
B
I
plus
don't
A
know.
minus?
B plus A minus. It was so good. Like everything that it did right, it did better than I thought it was going to do. I think the only movie, well, I get there's only 2 movies that have come out this year ish that I've seen in theaters. If anyone sees our Twitter, it's gonna this and Demon Slayer have just had like really good fights. So if anyone's like vaccinated and if Demon Slayer's still playing by the time this episode comes out, or maybe like it's on DVD or whatever by the time you're listening to this, Mugen Train's also another one that has like really good fights. If you're into that,
What was that?
the Demon Slayer Mugen Train movie, the one that's also been this and Kong versus Godzilla have been kind of been saving the American theaters. So where were you when the kaiju fans and the weebs saved American cinema?
Mortal Kombat did something.
In Mortal Kombat, no, Mortal Kombat helped. I'm just saying these two were like the bigger heavy hitters.
Yeah, definitely,
Very
100%.
Yeah. No. I'm excited to see Mortal Kombat whenever I get around to it.
Guess what, though, Hector?
What?
You're gonna have to see
it. I say
it.
not rehearsed.
You're gonna have to see it.
Oh, really?
How do we see it?
Mortal Kombat is next, by the way. Join us next time for Mortal Kombat 2021. Not 1995, but you can watch that one too if you want. And if you really want to like suffer, you can watch Mortal Kombat Annihilation and just have the greatest time ever if you just don't take it seriously at all.
If you want us to really watch Annihilation, you guys should tell us on our
Mortal Kombat and more. Yeah, we're gonna. I think we should do an episode for just 1995 Mortal Kombat and Mortal Kombat Annihilation.
But like again, we should get the audience to tell us if they want that or not.
Tell us
on
if
our,
you want to or not.
We have our reshoot. Was it reshootpodcast@gmail?
Reshootpodcast@gmail.com. We have our Instagram,
which is reshoot. I think it's reshoot underscore podcast.
And our
Twitter.
And then our Twitter, which is
at what?
Give me a second. It's reshoot underscore podcast or underscore,
so
right?
It's at reshoot underscore podcast.
Yeah, that's for the reshoot
down.
podcast. Reshoot underscore podcast is our Insta. It's our Insta.
Oh, Instagram is reshoot underscore podcast.
And our Twitter is reshoot movie PO1.
So it's at reshoot movie PO1, right?
Yes.
So add us, or I don't know I don't know how Instagram works, or email us. The person who recommended or asked us to do Kong vs. Godzilla, I think, emailed us, right?
No, we got that through Instagram, and that was Andrew. Thank you, Andrew.
Thank you, Andrew.
Thank you, Andrew, by the way, for recommending this movie.
Forcing me to watch Monkey.
Yeah.
Thank you for giving me another chance to see it again.
Yeah, I had to watch it again too. But Andrew, I shit talked the movie, but I still kind of enjoyed it. So I don't know if you've seen it, but if you haven't, it's worth the watch in my opinion.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a pretty fun spectacle if you like spectacle movies.
Yes.
Yeah.
So
it's just a great film.
Yeah. Join us next time for Mortal Kombat because that's gonna be awesome. I already saw it in theaters. I am vaccinated, by the way. I saw it with coworkers, and it was just 3 of us in the entire theater. Watched it on IMAX. My ears started bleeding.
Yeah, join us next week for next time for a fully vaccinated reshoot podcast crew.
Yeah.
Woo!
Yay!
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Today's film was Godzilla vs. Kong, directed by Adam Wingard. The screenplay was written by Terry Rossio, Michael Dougherty, Zach Shields, Eric Pearson, and Max Borenstein. Cinematographer was Ben Sarazin. Go show some love to their various social media accounts. They made a movie, which is more than we can say here. Join us for our next episode, Mortal Kombat.